Sometimes dead is better.
Hello and welcome to Giving Me Back My Horror Movies. My name is Pete. I will be one of your three hosts tonight. Joining me, as always, is Charlie. Good evening, Charlie.
What's happening, Pete?
How you doing? Also, as always, with us tonight is Nate. Nate, can you stop eating and say something on the mic, please?
No, dude, I'm doing pretty good. Like, I forgot I had pizza in the fridge. So, like,
breakfast pizza.
I got
always.
pizza and I got Mountain Dew. I'm way better now.
Oh,
like,
God.
beforehand, it was like, oh, how am I going to make it through the day?
Pizza and Mountain Dew for breakfast.
It's
God bless you,
10:20 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
We've already recorded one episode before this.
Yeah.
We're front loading as we've already talked about. We're front loading a bunch of episodes, and so we can take a little break in December. And this is a marathon. We got one more to go, guys. And this is going to be like 5 movies in 7 days.
In 7 days.
Yeah.
And then I think we're going to record 2 more early December for the first of the year. Because we do a 2-week overlap. Our episodes, we record 2 weeks ahead of time. So we kind of have to do that to take Christmas off.
All the last one.
You're right.
Well, it's the last one for the year.
Yeah. So this is all good, and that's just a peek behind the curtain. We're not complaining because we have legit had a blast over this last week.
I'm surprised how well it's gone. It really has been
bangers, and we all really loved what's been going on.
Most of us have.
We watched bangers. We ate good pizza at 10:20 in the morning. And drank good Mountain Dew.
It's cold pizza though. You got cold pizza, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
That's the best.
And also,
pizza.
No,
the night before,
God, how do y'all eat cold pizza?
I fell asleep with nachos in my belly, and those.
I thought it was going to be on his lap. I fell asleep with nachos in my lap. I bet they weren't there in the morning because I know beefcake.
Oh no, those pies. Yeah. Man, it was a good night.
So anyway, this is the horror movie. This is our post-Christmas episode, so we're trying to keep it cold, and there's certainly plenty of snow in this movie for us to all enjoy. And the landscape is gorgeous because we're watching from 2010 Troll Hunter. This is a Norwegian found footage film, mockumentary of sorts. And I heard about this. There's no trailer, right, Charlie? Did you say that already?
Yeah. Sorry, boys. The entire movie's Norwegian. The trailer is honestly, I didn't even look it up because I just knew. I just knew there was no trailer.
Right. So anyway, again,
it's
2010.
It's pretty much a guarantee.
It's on brand. No trailer. It's any trailer out there is probably a Norwegian.
Yeah.
Damn it. That is on brand.
Well, there might be like a trailer where like the zombie squad shows up to fight the trolls. I don't know.
Wow.
That's what happens when you get to covering Scandinavian movies.
Is it bad that I was hoping that the zombie squad was going to show up in this movie?
Wow. Okay. So,
oh boy.
Anyway, my history with this is I heard it came out. I heard some good reviews about it. It's got giant monsters in it, so it spoke to me immediately. And I saw it. Oh God, probably. It hit Netflix in like 15 or something like that.
I think that's right around when it dropped.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact date, but it's been a while since I've seen this. And Jody and I watched it together, and we both adored it. It was a lot of fun. The special effects have no business being as good as they are for being an independent Norwegian film out of
nowhere. Some of it has not aged as well, but it's a lot of clever use.
It's very clever.
Very clever.
They hide their shortcomings pretty well.
Yep.
And the landscape is just gorgeous.
For the most part, the trolls look very well.
Pretty good.
Yes.
But once again, it's just due to clever use of filmmaking, when to use night vision, certain angles that pay into the favor of found footage.
Right. So how about you, Nate? When did you see this? What's your history behind this one?
So we used to do out in South Vienna like a Monday movie night kind of thing. And then I started working Mondays and couldn't do it anymore. But it was me and some friends got together in a basement, and I think we rented this when it became available on demand. Because I remember we had to spend money to get it. So that would have been maybe 2011. I don't know. It came out in 2010.
Yeah.
I just don't know when it came out on demand at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Where you spend the $7 just to rent it. And like we all watched it. We didn't know we were going to have to read it. Didn't know it was going to be found footage. We were just sold on the name Troll Hunter.
Sure.
And the art. It was like, oh, a movie about hunting trolls. Awesome. We love Fin Troll. Like anything that deals with trolls. Hell yeah, I'm in. And it was a pleasantly surprising, like fun time. To a point, Brian, he still calls me Troll Hunter anytime I like see him out and about or at parties. It's just
Nice.
Troll Hunter. Like, it's just as stuck. But I remember like really liking this movie. I just haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
So when you picked it, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm glad to revisit that. It's a little different by yourself, and I should say up front, not a fan of found footage movies at all.
Oh, okay. That's tall order when if you don't like them, you won't gravitate toward them at all.
And this won me over because like I do enjoy it. I enjoy the VHS movies. That's about it. I don't really think there's any other found footage that has really done it for me.
Okay.
A Cut Above just did in October they did a Monte Romero, and they did Diary of the Dead. I haven't watched Diary of the Dead, but I do want to just to see how a found footage movie of that caliber is. The thing that shocked me with this movie upon revisiting it is how much it reminded me of One Cut of the Dead.
Oh, okay.
We covered that back in February.
Yep, yeah, okay.
Because what I kind of, as I was watching it, I was realizing this is like what that film crew was doing as well of attempting to make this movie. Like, I feel like I would prefer this movie to be told in a found footage and normal movie narrative.
Like Leslie Vernon?
Kind of, yeah, where it's like you go back and forth between documentary.
Movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot, and we'll get into it, where as I was watching, I was like, wow, this is reminding me of One Cut of the Dead because of the way certain shots are seen, the way certain stuff is scripted. And some of my shortcomings by myself were then becoming elevated because I was noticing clever filmmaking. And like, I was just really becoming like in awe of doing this on a shoestring budget and making it work.
Excellent. Charlie, how about you, bud? This is the first time watch for you, isn't it?
This is a first time watch for me.
Yeah.
I remember when it hit Netflix, quite a few people were, singing its praises, saying it was really, really good. For some reason, I never clicked it, never hit play on it, and you picked it. And I was like, cool, let's watch it. Did not go into this knowing it was found footage. I stand in the camp of Nate.
Yeah.
I do not like found footage movies. I laughed all the way through Blair Witch Project.
A lot of it's just when you're running, throw the camera down. Like, honestly.
We've got a shtick about that later, Nate. Hold on to that.
There's one found footage movie I tried really, really, really hard to enjoy, and that was Cloverfield. But like what Nate just said, there's a point where you're like, why are you carrying a camera? Why are you continuing to
very notorious for that too? Because there's so much where it's like, dude, just drop the camera.
Yeah, no one would still be filming. No one would still be,
and that one is
documenting.
Super jarring because there's so much shaky cam.
I got sick in that one. I had to be helped out of the theater.
Well, that was the one in theaters because the way the marketing was, we didn't really know what exactly Cloverfield was.
Right.
No.
And then that opening weekends when all the theaters were putting up like the you may feel nauseous, you may feel sick during this movie, and I'm so glad I didn't see it. Now that's the first person, so kind of found footage, but Hardcore Henry would kind of fall into
this.
That's
completely different, though.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that FPS.
That's one that I thought I was going to get super sick in the theater and was surprised. I was like, oh, I was fine during that.
No, because I play video games, so
Yeah.
I'm used to that. The shaky cam irritates me in normal movies when they try to do it. I can't
it
stand.
irritated the hell out of me in the Feast trilogy.
Yeah, I guess that is
my
one of the
God.
more recent ones we've done.
We're not ready to cover that, Nate. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, but future.
Yeah,
well,
but we've
past
future
us have already done it,
Oh,
and
yeah, I
future
forgot.
us are now
That's right.
talking about how we did it in the past.
Oh,
It's so hard to keep our
I-
multiverse in line right now.
Yeah, come on,
right,
man.
Right.
Doctor
Right.
Strange is really fucking some things up.
Yeah. So I never gave this movie a chance. I watched it, and I'm gonna say I am still not a fan of found footage. I will start this out, put you guys at a little bit of an ease. I enjoyed everything with the trolls. I thought the trolls were badass, really cool effects. I love that they are not the cartoony kind of trolls that we think of.
The legends.
They're the true Norwegian legends. They're not Americanized trolls. I did like that. That's about it.
No, I
as
think
far
that's
as what
fair.
I'm gonna like.
But I think with some of the conversation that Pete and I will be having as well, there may be some points you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I do like that too.
We will see. Just know right now that my zombie squad in this movie is the college students. I hate them. I hate them.
Pretty rough to follow. The first 20-25 minutes of this movie is kind of a slog to get through.
Oh, thank you for saying that, because this movie is an hour and 40 some odd minutes long.
It is
long. I
long.
was dying. I didn't fall asleep like dead snow, but if I wasn't reading this movie, I'd have been looking at my phone the whole time.
Yeah,
And
it's about 15 minutes too long.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Maybe
yeah.
And
maybe
it's
20.
in that beginning part where I do like that we're in a small town in Norway. Every bear hunter knows every bear hunter, and there's this one guy with a Land Rover that no one knows, and they're like, he better not be poaching our bears because this is what we do, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I like that, but how long it takes to get our film crew to meet up with the troll hunter, and then when we get to see his vehicle, there's cool because there's a story there with his vehicle with the claw marks in it, and why has it got all these lights on it, like. But it just takes a while to get to the first night of hunting trolls, even down to like him talking about.
Progresses pretty naturally as far as these students are making a documentary. They're trying to find who this bear poacher is. They find out that he's doing more than he's not actually doing bear poaching. They're not sure exactly what he's doing, but that's not what it is.
No.
And the mystery slowly, painfully at times unravels that he's hunting these trolls, and then they have to get his confidence. They have to convince him that they're doing this for a good reason, and it takes a long time to get.
It really does, and like Charlie said, because
its biggest flaw
you're
is that
forced to read.
It drags its feet for so long that it will lose you, especially if you're not a found footage fan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to lose you right away, and it takes way too long to get to the monsters.
This is not the movie to recommend to someone to be like, you're going to like found footage movies after you view this.
No,
this is not the one
you
that
go
I
watch
would recommend
Paranormal
to
Activity
Charlie.
for something like that. Hell House LLC. Those are the movies you watch to introduce somebody to a good found footage film. I wouldn't even say Cloverfield because it's so.
No,
Yeah.
I would.
It's
I
rough.
wanted to like that one, but I ended up not. Yeah, this one, good Lord, starting it out because I didn't know what I was in for. I kind of was expecting the Norwegian with the subtitles, and then this movie takes a moment and it pisses me off. They start speaking English, and then they go right back to Norwegian,
They
and I
pepper a
was
little
just like,
English in here and there. Through the
Yeah.
whole
I
thing.
like
I
that
was
we made
just-
Charlie read. It's always funny.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
It's always a good joke when we gotta make him read, especially when he's got forced to be read for 2 hours. It's a good gag.
And I'm hating. I love the troll hunter dude. Is Hans, right?
Yep.
That's what,
That dude's a comedian, apparently.
He's a comedian. Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
them are almost. The lead college kid was a comedian.
Like, I want to see this dude as this
Yeah, I wanna
rough,
see a stand-up.
grizzled hunter more and more. And I'm like, and that's one of the other things too. Now, I've always wondered this with any foreign film where like you have to read. In my head, any foreign movie has the best acting ever. And I have no idea if it's good acting or not due to having to read.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand the inflections.
I don't know. Like, yeah, like for me, they could be the most wooden actors, but there's something about a funky language being spoken that's magical that I don't understand. Where I'm like, this is magical. Great. I've never seen a foreign movie have bad acting. Not one.
This dude was like the Norwegian Ron Swanson to me,
Yeah, exactly. He's got this cool scar on his cheek.
Yeah.
This grizzled beard. And you could tell he's seen a thing or two. Whatever he is like hunting.
I did like that the reason he allows the kids to stick around is because he's kind of over it. He's like, I'm so tired of hunting trolls and I'm not paid enough. I'm not paid correcely.
I don't get
work
health
for the
care.
government.
Like,
yeah, I'm doing all this work for
and he
pennies.
does it by himself.
Oh, by himself.
He's the unsung
he can't tell anybody
hero.
about it, so he lives alone.
Yeah,
and so he's given the opportunity to blow the lid. Yeah,
this is smart use of a film crew documenting and allowing the found footage. So it's like, I like this story device because it's a man who's just like, I don't care anymore. And his boss, who we get to see throughout the movie, is not happy about the film crew, And I like that even when you introduce other characters, like the nurse who's taking the blood samples.
The veterinarian.
Yeah. And he's just like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about them interviewing you. Because
just go ahead and talk to them.
I'll take responsibility
I'm taking the heat.
Clever story use there. I like that.
It was clever story use.
Our three filmographers, are they
college
a little
kids.
Annoying? Yeah. They're not likable.
A lot annoying.
Like
a lot annoying. I didn't even know what the camera dude looked like till halfway through the movie.
Till he gets eaten.
Almost, yeah. I think there's a moment where they're talking about the whole Christian thing and the camera pans to him.
That's
he's like,
one of the things.
No, I don't believe. But I'm
that I like.
But at that moment, I'm also for a second I went, "Who's that guy?" And then I had to realize I was like, "No shit, there's a guy behind the camera."
But like for me, them using the troll lore as far as what Norway did when Christianity was forced upon the people of that land, they came up with the folklore of trolls and that, to fend off the Christian crusades, right?
Yeah, they could smell Christian blood. It was
the fact that, it's like, is anyone here Christian? They can smell Christian blood. One of you lied to me when that first troll hunt goes wrong. Like he's able to tell. So he's taking risk as well by having these three people. And let's face it, he is not Matthew McConaughey in Reign of Fire. He is a sluggish old man who ex-military who kind of just got himself into this. And he's just done with it. And I really like that character arc. Yeah. And like he does, I think, grow to care about the college kids in the sense of like, well, he doesn't want them to die. Right. He
wants them to succeed so they can knock this.
He wants this footage out and like he takes on, they are a burden because there are multiple times in the movie where you could tell like, oh God, if this guy was just by himself, he can go in and get his shit done.
Yeah, he would have been
right
fine.
Back out. Yeah,
but it's added a whole nother element to it.
Yeah, it's like he's been playing on normal for so long that now he's playing on hard mode. Or he's already been playing on hard mode. Now he's playing on new game plus mode,
expert mode. Now you have to. Now you're playing that one mission where you got to take the you rescued a hostage, but now you have to keep that hostage alive till the end of the mission.
Yeah.
That's exactly
the hurt me daddy mode on Doom.
Jesus.
Wow.
What? It's a really hard difficulty, dude.
Sure. All right, Pete, take us off.
Yeah, like you said, Hans, is that right?
I asked, is it Hans?
I'm gonna assume it's Hans.
We're just gonna call him Hans.
It's Hans.
It's his
I'm
Hans.
Sorry. Hans is ex-Ranger, and we don't quite know how he got the job.
I don't think he knows how he got the
And,
Yeah,
job.
it seems
right, he
like
kinda
right
fell
guy,
into
right
it.
place, right
But
time.
there was a really interesting story in the middle of it. Maybe Charlie was fast asleep at this point, but
I didn't fall asleep.
he
I
was,
stayed awake.
and I couldn't quite put the timeline together, but this might be why he's done with it, because he was ordered to go into a certain area where they wanted to develop the land, and there were trolls in there, lots and lots of trolls.
Yep.
So they could never develop the area. They could never not develop. What do I want to say? Develop, I guess. So yeah, they couldn't develop the area for people to live in. So they sent him in to murder all of these trolls. Adults,
It was
children,
women,
babies,
kids.
newborn, pregnant
Yeah.
women, or pregnant trolls, I should say.
Yeah.
And when he tells this story, it's heartbreaking. You can just see him.
It's like as if he went into a village of like what was people
Right.
and killed because
And you forced to kill him. And I don't know where this falls in the timeline of where we are today, but it kind of felt like it was fairly recently.
it was probably one of those like last couple jobs. It's just like this is weighing on me for too long.
And he's just done, just completely done with
because his job, from what I understood, mostly was to take care of stragglers.
And exactly, that's what's so great. Like
the preserve.
It explains why, why does we not have these troll attacks all over the place? It's like, well, there's a land that different types of trolls live in. You have the ones that live in the mountains, the ones that live off in the woods, and like they have their place. But because they're not exactly the smartest species, sometimes they get lost, they kind of straggle, and then that's when they cause issues with mankind, with humans. And it's always kind of explained away. And that's one of the things that I think is so great about this movie. One of them is they like to eat tires.
They gnaw on tires.
They like to chew on
the,
whatever.
It's like bubble gum.
Bubble gum, right? Exactly.
And they have this container that's kicked in. And he's like, a troll over here kicked it in because this is where the good stuff is, the good tires,
right?
And like, this is where the One Cut of the Dead stuff comes to me, because I'm like, wow, the director is Andre Overdahl, who also did The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which I adore that movie. I love that movie so much.
That's a good spook show.
Yeah. So this is, one of his first feature movies, and it's low budget, just like One Cut of the Dead. And it's like they had to have been driving around, saw that container, and went, plot device. We can use this container that's already bent to hell and back. It's free. It's in the woods. We can just film right here, right now, and just say, well, a troll kicked that in. And that's why he wasn't able to get to these tires that was in here, because there was already tires.
What else is laying around the woods when you go out? There's tires everywhere.
Brilliant storytelling.
They do it constantly through the movie.
Yeah,
like
there's
an area
destroyed.
that looks like it was like a fire maybe the year before. Yeah, and all the trees are just stripped, and they explain it by that the
trolls came through.
The big asshole comes through and just stomped it all down.
I think one villager says something like, well, a tornado come through, but Hans is explaining to the college kids going, see how they're all in different directions? It's not a tornado. That tells me a troll had come through here. One of my favorite, 3 at least. One of my favorite things in this movie that I did catch was when he was tracking them to see where they hadn't been. He had a transparent piece of plastic that he had drawn the placement of where rocks and boulders were, and he knew where to stand and hold it to see if any of the rocks and boulders had moved from them fighting each other or roaming around.
Because like the wood
throw rocks at each other from across the river.
And like it explains why you have all these different rock formations just in a plane. Yeah, it's like, once again, this is a director with
just using your
very
environment.
Small film crew. Yeah, using the environment to further tell the story. And I'm like, this is so cool. And like that for me was the takeaway, where a lot of the slog fest parts, like, nah, this is just really cool, like independent filmmaking. Like that's where it was really winning me over.
It's so hard to get over those slog moments, man. That was me. Like when the trolls finally pop up, when they finally fight that 3-headed one, which
I wanted to start talking about.
I love the 3-headed troll. I love the creativity of it, taking it straight from the lore.
The rocks are kind of falling off of it. Like,
Yeah.
he's missing
You
an
feel
arm.
like
The first
it's-
one, isn't he?
That was the one
No,
under
that's
the bridge.
that's the bridge troll's
Second.
missing an
Okay,
arm.
yeah, that's the one's missing an arm. But the three-headed one, it's an older one. So like the way
I
they
love the
explain-
explanation of
Yeah.
why it has 3 heads, and he's like, "Well, it's
Yeah.
older. Those aren't really heads.
Not really heads.
Yeah, they just grow.
They just grow. It's they're like a deformity, like a disease.
Their tail.
It's a fat
Yeah.
deposit.
Yeah, it's their that's what Mad Max Fury Road. These are my mates when he's got the bumps on his shoulder. I found myself, and I get it, it's low budget. I get why they did it, but everything with the trolls I was in. I was like, "Oh, this is so cool looking." The switch to night vision to be able to see things.
And clever use of CGI then, because that night vision hides any poor CGI.
Lots of errors. Yeah.
You're playing a Game Boy game at that moment.
Yeah.
A lot of greens.
Honestly,
and
yeah, that's the
grays.
Game Gear even.
Yeah. But I like the idea of rub the troll stench all over us so they can't smell us.
Just like a
very
hunter would.
very gross. Yeah,
And like whatever it is, it's like ew.
I was gagging a little bit.
it was like a Shrek moment. It was earwax and
Oh,
butt
yeah.
hairs
Yep.
and everything that they're rubbing. All when that dude loses it and he just keeps rubbing the shit all over himself for like 5 minutes. I
because
was
he's
just like,
Christian. Yeah.
oh gosh. But yeah, I love the 3-headed troll. I mean, down to where they lead it out to the vehicle and you get the lights,
The UV.
his weapon, the UV
giant UV
lights to
light.
turn it to stone. I was like, even that's cool. Then I laughed because he hits it with a hammer and it falls. And then like the next scene, he's using a jackhammer and he's making
Right,
gravel.
yeah.
Anybody want some gravel?
Right.
And then
And-
like having the tent over it and the demolition
Big
set up
blanket.
to
What-
break it down further.
It was something I saw because at this point, there's nothing going on in the movie. So I'm now paying attention to shit. And I went, why does he have a trailer behind his Land Rover? I didn't see that earlier. What's on the trailer? Well, it turns out they're big, giant rubber mats. So he can cover up everything and demolish the creature without throwing rocks everywhere, creating
And
a huge
then
mess.
The TSS, the troll, whatever.
Troll
You get
system.
the men in
Troll
black
Secret
come
Service.
in and
Right.
clean up the
they
site.
bring in a dead bear and it's just like, then they shoot
That's-
it.
And then now you understand the beginning because they're like, why does everyone think he's a bear poacher? Well, because he killed a troll and the cover story was it was a bear and the bear was shot. So there's no more livestock being killed or a hiker disappearing.
Now, was
So
it
you get an
the
aha moment.
first troll or the second troll where it was to also cover up that 2 people were accidentally killed by a troll?
I think that might have been the bridge troll.
I think that's the
right.
bridge troll. Because then,
Yeah,
like,
because
when
they found a body under the bridge or some remains, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what
And
it
that
was.
was that people or was that cattle? 'Cause
I
the
couldn't
trolls-
tell the
people,
difference.
because that's when they make the mention of like it was a bear that killed those 2 people.
Okay.
And then they had to take it out.
and
Yeah,
then
they're
the
doing like a
reporters-
little reporter news
The
conference
reporters are
thing.
all around going, "That's not a bear track. That's not a bear track."
Yeah, like,
And
and, then
then the
even the
dude
documentary
drives
crews
through.
making fun of
Yeah,
it.
right
Yeah,
through the tracks on purpose. Uh-huh.
I dug that quite a bit. I was like, that was funny. He drove right through the tracks. Although my big question with the bridge troll was, where does one get a bucket of Christian man blood?
That's a great question.
Hey man, you don't ask those kind of questions.
There are some questions you don't want answers to.
Yeah,
It
you don't want
wasn't
that
a-
answer.
It wasn't a Lowe's bucket either. It was just this
Yep.
metal bucket of
Yep.
Christian
Pale.
blood.
That he
I
just
love
holds
his.
on to.
I love the armor though. The armor
Oh,
felt.
the Monty Python-esque armor.
Yes.
The Kelly armor.
It's like what you would see in a folk story book. Like this is what the knight looked like
Yep,
that went
when
to
he
fight
went to
the
go
troll.
fight the troll. I love
And the
when
thing
that troll
tries to
shows
bite
up.
him. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh my
when
God.
He bites his
when it
head,
cold
but
cocks him,
like that.
and like the way that they animate his body falling, and then when it gets picked up and gets gnawed on, it was just like, oh, he's out cold.
It's ragdoll. He is
Yeah.
ragdolling, which it's smart because now you have him fully encased in armor.
Yeah.
It can be a dummy inside there. It can
Super
be
cheap.
a literal doll that they're
you could just
spinning
ragdoll
around and
around.
superimposed.
And then when they get him back up, and you're like, "Are you okay?" It's just like how sluggish he is.
He's
where
like,
it's
"Help me get back up. Where's my
this is a
bucket? Where's
dude who's done this before?" Like, and
That's
by
not the first time he's
himself.
been knocked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That
But then
man's
the
had many
reveal-
concussions.
The first one turned into stone. The second troll, when it dies, it explodes. And
in a
all the
glorious-
troll goo falls onto the film crew. And I love they're like, well, I guess trolls can explode as well.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of two ways he says that they dispatch them, and you don't know what each one's gonna do.
Yeah.
I think they said it's from what I caught, it's based on how old they are. The older they are, the more calcium they have in their bodies. So when the sun hits it, they solidify. But if they're younger, there's not as much calcium, and there's something to do with their stomach
veins
acids
stomach
and their veins.
expand.
They super expand with the gas and they
can't
blow
process
up.
vitamin D. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their body
Reverse-
It was
Reverse
convoluted.
vampirism
Exactly.
is what it is. I dug the lore. I
That's
dug
the
how
lore
they
that's so cool.
explained it.
The pseudoscience that's like, yeah, I believe
Mhm.
that. Yeah,
But
that's
it
exactly
just-
what trolls would do.
It takes forever from troll to troll scene because
It
there's
really
really
does.
only 4 troll scenes in this movie.
But
You
that's
got the
more than I
three-headed,
would have
the
ever
bridge.
expected from this.
I am surprised at it. I like I like
And
the
they're
cave
unique trolls amongst each case.
Yes.
Because the cave trolls, when they get to those ones, there's 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, there's like 4 or
Some-
5.
it's
They
like,
have really long nose.
They all look
It was a
exactly
family
the
or a
same.
group.
Yeah. I mean, one farts.
I laughed.
Oh
I
my
laughed.
God.
Jackie
A troll
laughed.
fart.
And it just keeps going. It does a very British style comedy of
Yep.
let's just keep going. And they're dying like everyone. And Hans is just like, yeah, it stinks. Shut the fuck up. You know, it's just like all of them are like ready to puke on each other.
But even with that scene, this is where one of my complaints with the found footage, where some of it's like, what the hell am I looking at? It's like, oh, that's the fur of a troll.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
fur set
so
in front of the
hard
hole.
to really tell what's going on at times during some of these found
Yeah,
footage
it's
parts.
a very dark movie.
Yeah.
I don't mean subject material.
No,
but
it's just
No,
it's
it's just
hard to
dark.
see because it's this found footage thing. They hide so much cleverly by having this type of film.
I mean, it's there for a
shooting.
reason.
This
Yeah.
style, exactly. And that's why it's like I understand they couldn't film it.
The
both ways.
craftsmanship of what the director did with such a small budget it's an exceptional movie with what what we could do with the little bit of money he had. But Charlie's not wrong. This thing does drag its feet through a lot of it, and I wish there was a good way to tighten it up without losing
I honestly
the
feel
lore
like
and the story.
I feel like there's at minimum 10 minutes that even I could
Yeah.
go in with what I have in front of me and edit it, and you would not know that those scenes were missing.
Very well
There's
could be.
just something about when someone goes, oh, it's found footage. That means we have to show you every damn thing we filmed, even the mundane.
Because who knows
driving
how
down
much they
a
actually
road.
filmed in between just to try
Oh,
to
There's
God,
a lot of
had
driving. The
story.
driving was
Yeah.
that was
Now,
rough.
I did look up the budget in American dollars. It had
In
a budget
American
of
dollars.
$1.7 million is what the equivalent would be.
Okay, well, I
that's-
mean, that's kind of high.
not for
It was
nothing.
made
but-
for almost 20 million Norwegian dollars, which translates to 1.8 for us.
So they're a quarter the worth of what we are. That's kind
I
of
guess
Potentially,
so.
Yeah, but I kept trying to tell myself that watching this is
I
somewhat
wish
independent.
You would have had the experience I had for the first time of just like with us watching it, because I feel like even with my first memory, it's like, we were probably just like bullshitting in between the stuff.
Yeah,
like,
if I
we're
could just
reading it and
bullshitting
like,
or
like discussing the stuff that is being told in front
maybe
of us.
something gets said and you're able to make a joke out of it, so it adds some levity. But it was like sitting there reading a boring ass novel, and then all of a sudden, and then a troll appeared, and like, oh, now I can read it. And
man, when those trolls appear, it's so much fun.
Oh, it's a blast. That's what I wanted. That's what I took away. But I it took too long, and I hated the college kids. That one dude, the lead guy, is just so
the one that got scratched.
Yeah, it was so annoying. It like if I was Hans, I'd have punched him. I would have punched him right in the face.
They didn't have him do that, but I also think because he wanted to keep these kids protected, that he wasn't going to be that
I would
aggressive.
have punched him the first time I met him when he's on the ferry. I would have punched him, because now he's stalking me. I flat out would have knocked him in the water.
I do like the gag of the guy getting scratched by a troll, because as we're learning about this lore, he's getting sicker as the movie progresses.
Right.
And I'm like, is he going to turn into a troll?
That's what I was hoping.
Or explode or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, is he going to get like a troll STD essentially? Like he has trollphilus.
He kind of did. He got was it rabies? He
got rabies. So then that also explained why the trolls were misbehaving. Was
the whole thing is
they all had rabies.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's cool. Like something like rabies, they can contract.
Reminded me of another found footage movie that I've seen, Quarantine, or Wreck, as other people know.
Wreck is a far superior film than Quarantine.
I need to see them.
That's their explanation. Their explanation for the zombies virus
is rabies.
Is rabies.
I love that. That's cool.
Yeah, but I
think my problem with why I never saw it is I've seen the big reveal. The final.
Oh,
the
girl
spoiled for me. Yeah,
the sister.
I've had all the good stuff already spoiled for me. So I just never.
Dexter's sister gets dragged away. Yeah, that's kind of like the big shocker.
The final shot of the movie.
That's another
assholes.
Found footage one that I honestly didn't really care for overall. But saying rabies reminded me that it's rabies. It's always rabies.
Yeah. So these trolls.
No, go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
The premise of the movie is that the trolls are behaving weirdly.
Yeah, like they're
coming down from the mountains. They're coming out of the
there's more of them than usual, because it sounds like this should be a gig that you get a call once every 6 months and go, all right, yep, I'll be down there. Let me go take care of it. Mm-hmm. But now it feels like he is just like he had this terrible ordeal. And now he's doing more and more. It's just like, what the hell gives?
What is going on? Which is why they need to get a blood sample to the veterinarian to find out what's going on.
And I think
large syringe.
With a comic
large syringe to get the blood sample was pretty funny. I like that. I did like that. I think from what Pete told me now, because I think I totally glazed over that whole village where they talk about what he had to do and why he's mad. But now I'm like, that should have been story centric. It should have been because of that is what's driving. Like, they've now made the troll habitat smaller because they're trying to develop these areas for, people to live. They're bringing in businesses. They're making a new town. So they're pushing wildlife into smaller areas,
doing gentrification towards the
pretty much
the trolls.
Right. So I think get rid of the stupid rabies thing and make it to where they've created the problem themselves by pushing the trolls, and the trolls have almost nowhere to go. And because there's mountain trolls that fight wood trolls, you can't keep pushing them closer to one another. And then he would be having to clean up the mess they caused, and he's even more pissed off.
We got a little bit of both with it, though.
I like
just
that.
The rabies.
I think I like that better than, they all have rabies, that's why they're running around.
That's why they're going crazy.
Because I'm going to be honest. I'll tell you what. Let's hit a commercial real quick before I get super honest here. So.
Don't go away.
Before he really drops the truth on us.
Mistake.
Do you like horror movies?
Do you like hanging out with your buddy?
Do you like cracking jokes and having a good time?
Do you just like fun?
Well, consider checking out Spoils of Horror. We are an hour-long podcast that comes out every single week.
We're not doing reviews. We're just going to hang out, talk about the movies we love with each other, and hopefully the ones you love too.
Covering everything from the popular, the lost, the forgotten, and the bizarre.
If you're looking for a good podcast and a good time, you're going to want to check us out.
We're on all major podcasting platforms, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter.
Check it out. We'll see you there.
Hi, everybody. I'm Josh.
And I'm Brett.
If you're looking for a different horror podcast, one that stands out from the rest,
Well, don't look here.
absolutely not. Every week we talk about our favorite horror movies and some of our favorite aspects of those horror movies.
So that's something that interests you? Check us out.
The only thing that sets us apart is that it's us. So if you like the sound of our voices,
Check us out at the Evil Death Podcast.
wherever it is that you find podcasts.
Don't let the commercials bug you. We're back.
All right. Well, I know I was getting ready to drop some knowledge.
What are you gonna rant on us?
And I know this we're kind of all over the place, but we've talked about a lot of these things, but I want to get to the final troll. Not impressed with it. I felt like just to throw a giant kaiju sized troll after
I love it though, because they explain how big they can get, and like he's knocked over a bridge, and it's just like all I picture is a dumb animal just like accidentally beating its head into a bridge. That's what caused it to fall.
Yeah, but I got to that point and I went, giant troll. It just fell so flat for me.
Like when they are driving through its legs, and like I felt intensity there.
Yeah.
And then when the tail comes down and almost like sweeps them off the road, it was like, holy shit, this thing is huge.
My whole thing was, it's their own damn faults for running over there. Hans told them to stay put. And yet they still run over there with the car. It's like, you guys just stay out of Hans' way. He knows what he's doing.
Like, even when he picks them up in the Land Rover and he's going back and forth from the seat up atop with the light, then back to the driver's seat, it's like, man, you guys really should have just like thrown one of them in the driver's seat and then let him just stay on top.
Right. But because he keeps going back, hey,
treat it like a turret.
Oh,
Jody has entered the room.
She gave me some with feet warmers.
Oh, is that where she put it?
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Jody's really good at warming your cockles.
Back to the movie.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Yeah, I got distracted.
It just, again, it was another point where I'm pissed off at these college kids in this thing. They're messing up a well-oiled machine. Mm-hmm. Hans knows what he's doing. It's not the first giant troll he's ever had to probably take down. He's prepared for it.
Yeah. He mentions earlier that he's the only one that's seen one of these things.
Yeah, it's a Jotun.
Yeah, it's a Jotun. They're in Jotunheim. I love the fact that they're in Norway. A lot of the Norse words and stuff come in.
Thor's language.
Thor's language. It's great. But I don't know why it didn't work for me.
Especially
didn't
the
like
big troll. Like, I think he is so fascinating because he's just like out in the middle of nowhere. It's very cold and desolate, and
it's
just
dawn.
like
the sun is coming up.
Yeah, they're in the cabin, and then all of a sudden it's a South Park moment of it's coming right for us, and then they have to.
You're right.
Yeah, it's just. I don't know, man. To me, it just felt like, well, we need a giant troll. How do we get there? This is what we do. And it almost kind of felt a little shoehorned in for me just to get this big climactic.
It all makes sense because like each troll being different, it's like we got to get to the big one.
It could have been done better. Even, I mean, now that I know there was a $1.6 million budget, where did the rest of that go? Because there's nothing happening in this movie except for
all
SFX with Troll.
Yeah.
Probably all.
Was that like what's that, like $350,000 per troll? Is that what we're going at? So
I don't know what the going rate for trolls are these days.
the big one should have been a $500,000 troll, but because they dispersed it evenly, he got the short end of the stick.
Mhm.
You know, he needed a little bit more budget for his VFX.
I love the whole thrill of the hunt with that one. I love that.
I didn't get the thrill. Where is
Our
this
other
thrill you're
cameraman
talking
was
about?
eaten, so they have
That
to
was
get
funny.
another camera person.
He
and
was
she's
eaten by
Muslim,
the cave.
So they're like,
That's the best joke of the whole.
you know, like, well,
Yeah, they
you're
asked
Muslim, do you believe in
Hans.
God?
They asked Hans, she's Muslim. Is that a problem? And he's like,
We're gonna find
guess
out.
we'll find out. I'm like,
I love that he's just like, yeah, it's cool,
Yeah.
whatever. He's not
It's
against it like he was with the Christian blood of like, look, this is
Yeah.
a new one.
this is
This is the first time anyone's followed me around, so why not?
Yeah.
We'll just find, it'll go in his notes. I love that his trailer is filled with sketches and just the map of pointing out where
tails.
you can tell where certain ones have been.
Oh god. I wonder if he went back in that cave when he got done to get the rest of that Christian blood. Because I mean, Christian blood's got to be hard to get a hold of.
It's gotta be hard
So
to come by.
He went to go refill the bucket from the camera dude.
Wait, so you want my blood? Why do you want my blood? Like,
You go to a blood bank. Do you when you donate blood, do you have to check what religion you are?
Yeah, is that what it is?
or maybe he gets.
Is there kosher blood? Is that a thing?
Probably.
Yes, I made that joke, damn it, and I'm
Good one.
staying.
Good
I
joke.
thought that was that's a pretty clean religious joke coming
That's
from
a
me.
good joke.
So.
It was.
I wanted. I know I was kind of a downer on Dead Snow 2, but there was enough gore that kept me in the movie. This one, this movie's PG-13. So I'm also like, there's not going to be a ton of like violence in this movie. But after seeing the runtime of just, oh my God, will this movie just end for the love of not Christian God? Just stop. It's, the little bits of stuff I loved, which is Hans and the trolls, still had a ton to overcome of what I didn't like in this movie.
So maybe what we need to do is next we covered that Netflix movie Troll that just came out like last year. That's supposed to basically be Godzilla, but with a troll in Norway.
I thought that's what this one was. There's another one
there's
called Troll?
There's one that just came out on Netflix last year. That's a Norwegian film that's just called Troll. And it's about, a troll that awakens in the woods or in a cave or whatever. And he comes crashing through Oslo.
I have seen that trailer. I remember now. Yes.
It looks fun.
I probably should have watched that one and just feigned ignorance the entire time.
You start talking about the military, and Pete and I would be like, I don't remember them being in there.
Hey, I did double check that. You guys were like raving about this in the group chat, and I went, I want to make sure I watched the right movie. This happened, this happened, this happened, right? Yeah. Okay.
It was awesome.
It's like, oh, I got things to say, which is that's our code in the group chat when we don't like something. It's normally Pete when we make him watch a movie and he goes, I have things to say, and we're like, damn it.
Yeah, whenever you get that text message, it's like, well, someone didn't like the movie.
Yeah, that's our code words. Well, is there any other part of this movie you guys want to talk about before we jump into the things?
The landscape is gorgeous. I just so beautiful.
I just wish it was high def.
That's my thing.
Yeah,
I wish so.
You got a great point.
Because it's filmed as a documentary style, it's all
grainy,
close-up lenses.
Yeah,
and there's even a shot where they look over like this landscape valley. I'm like, this would be gorgeous if it was a normal widescreen pan shot.
72 millimeter.
And it's not like, so that's the only complaint I really have with when you're saying it's beautiful. It's like, it is, but it really could have laid out how gorgeous the scenery is in this country. Like Prey did, Prey has these amazing sweeping shots of just beautiful landscape. And I can tell it's there, but it's done on the wrong camera. but it's done on the right camera for the purpose of the movie. So
Right.
It's very conflicting for me where I'm like,
it's hard to ding it for that. But if you're taking the time to actually film panoramic shots, but not be able to, utilize
especially
it correctly.
like you're in your like home country. I imagine you're wanting to kind of show off some of
that's
this
the only
beauty
thing
that
I can
you,
imagine
love.
they were doing is let's show where we are. It just doesn't translate well to the way they had to film this movie. So
I was taken
unfortunately,
aback by how much it looks like Colorado. Like when Jody and I are driving,
it is kind of wild.
Colorado,
that
those snaky roads.
Very interesting.
I've never had white knuckles while driving before until we drove those goddamn snaky roads through the Colorado backcountry.
right.
It's harrowing, let me tell you.
I live in the mountains, so I don't know. It's just that's a normal way to the grocery store for us. Pete. It's totally fine.
Yeah, those West Virginia mountains are.
It's not West Virginia; it's Southwest Virginia. Bastards.
Us Ohioans and our straight flat roads. We're not used to shit like that.
You're flat asses.
All we have is
Ohio.
corn and no hills.
Corn, no hills, and Buckeyes. That's all.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, let's get into the things here, Charlie.
Let's get into the things. Raining Blood.
Let's be a shorter episode.
I think we can still
It's
hit
okay.
Yeah.
We'll still be fine.
All right.
I guess
Let's
we'll
do
call
it.
that
Raining
raining Christian blood because it's one. It's one.
But I like the way that it happens because it's the camera guy that gets eaten. So
In the
you see
cave.
the camera raise up, and it's like, oh, that's a
And
cool.
he
Like they
goes
did a
up
crane
high.
shot or something. Yeah, he goes real high, and then they launch the camera. It's like, oh,
Camera
well,
falls and breaks. Yeah.
I did like the added little bit of breaking the camera lens, and they don't fix it till the new camera person shows up.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I get that. It doesn't help add to the realism, but I was like, okay, I would have complained if, let's get the other lens that we were carrying around with us and put it on there. I would have been a little bit more like,
yeah,
seems like a good way to fix.
There's
yeah,
a good maybe 5-8 minutes worth of the film that's through a broken.
That's
lens.
through the broken lens.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, but God, just one person dies in this movie.
Hey, he's a really good troll hunter, man.
Because I can't even say they killed another Christian dude to get a bucket of blood. They could have just got that somewhere else. I don't know. I guess a goat dies because the troll eats a goat.
Yep.
Very throwback to Jurassic Park. I did enjoy that they brought some of the more known lore of bridge trolls. Like this troll literally is living under a bridge.
I loved it.
And
I was just so happy when we got to have a bridge troll.
I think it's cool.
Billy
like I said,
goats and
eating the billy goats, eating the livestocks. My non-complaint for this movie is mostly the trolls, even though I know I complained about the big one, but it's because I expected so much more out of that last big troll. But that means our kill of the week is one Christian dude, because he's the only one that dies. No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick our favorite troll death. So here is kill of the week.
What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
Whichever of you two is driving.
Pete's driving.
I'm driving. I'm working on it. All right. Kill of the week. Charlie, let's go with you. You haven't gone first in a while.
Yeah, you're right. I think I'm gonna give it to the three-headed troll. I like because the lore I know is trolls turn to stone in sunlight. To actually see them do that on a low budget film, and it doesn't look bad. Like, I actually like how it turns into stone, and then he turns it into gravel, which was just an extra layer, because I think the lore is they turn to stone, but back at night they revert back to being a troll. So you don't actually kill them.
Okay.
they'll come back. So to actually know you have to destroy it now so it doesn't come back and turn it into gravel for somebody's driveway is a little extra layer to it that I did like that.
So when the sun sets, does the gravel turn into disgusting little troll bits?
No, I think because it's broken up, it turns back into goo. And I'm not saying that's the lore in this movie. I just know in other movies I've watched that have to do with trolls, it's usually they revert back to being a troll.
Okay.
Once.
I mean, I'm no troll lawyer or anything like that,
Troll
so I don't really
lawyer.
know how this works.
You're not a trollologist?
Yeah, not a
know.
trollologist.
Oh God. Stop that.
A trolltonarian?
No, I went to school to get 4 years to get a degree in trollology.
Nate, you're up. What is your troll kill of the week?
Me, it's the bridge troll, just because of the comical fight scene we get with our
It is funny.
Monty Python Knight, the way that he gets cold cocked, the fact that it's with the bridge, and then when it goes under and you see the flashes of light, it's screaming. You don't see it explode, but you see all the bloody goodness come at them. And just the way it hits all them, and they're all grossed out. It's
because they keep getting
pays off
closer
so well.
to the danger.
Well, they
He
gotta
tells them,
film it, man.
Stay on the bridge, and they kept going down.
I wish
and
they
it's
all were in armor, just clinking and clanking around as they're trying to film that scene.
Tis but a scratch. Tis but
Yeah,
a scratch.
that's all I can think.
Get over here so I can kick you. Pete,
Yeah.
you picked
Yeah,
this, buddy. What's your favorite
It's the
one?
bridge of that gooey explosion of troll bits just flying all over the place.
It's
Made my heart sing.
It's so
just love
happy.
it.
I love the final
happy.
kill. Like, it's a great kill with whatever that rocket is that, like,
Yeah, it was like
shoots
a
UV.
space light gun.
Yeah.
UV light gun. And the troll is so big that it collapses under its own weight.
Yeah. And
Um,
just the sheer, like, how small he is compared to the big one. Like, you really
the
get
force
banana for scale.
perspective, was actually pretty clever. I like it looked like little action figures fighting your giant plastic Godzilla out in the yard.
Right,
It's shining a flashlight up on it. It's just not bad. Well, what do you think?
Nate,
We ready?
Nate, you got a review?
Well, we got to review it first, and then I can do the
Oh
review.
shit! I fucked that up, didn't I?
That's
All right.
okay. Pete
All right,
doesn't
boys.
always drive.
Right, all right, boys, let's review this thing.
All right.
I told you not to let me do
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back. Whew.
Charlie, you're up.
Oh, you're gonna make me go first?
I'm gonna make you go first.
Let's do like Dead Snow. Let's get the bad review out of the way. That
Yep,
way,
yep.
the two young sung heroes of the podcast can come in like Gandalf the White, riding down from the mountain with our amazing army of scores.
I remember somebody didn't like Deep Star 6, so I don't really feel that bad. God.
Took me an hour and 6 minutes to get my monster in that movie. You would think I forgot that timestamp, but I didn't.
I think that monster had more screen time than any of the trolls in this movie, though.
I'm gonna call bullshit there.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
It feels mean. It feels mean.
You're not gonna give us thirst, are you?
No.
I was gonna say, if
It's
he
not.
gives it a thirst, Pete, I'm coming over. I'm picking you up, and we're driving straight to Virginia.
Yes.
We'll be back by 8.
Set him straight.
Come
Yeah.
on, man. I'll throw some food on the stove.
I expect bacon upon my arrival.
Yeah. There's always bacon in this house.
Exactly.
Ooh, I feel like Pete for all of a sudden, just like, I don't know. Geez, I'm giving it 4.5.
Wow.
Oh,
That's a
I
That's a
told
don't
you
watch.
it feels mean. I that's where I'm at. I can't recommend this movie to anyone. I don't know who I would recommend it to. I slept on it for a long time, but I'm not mad that I slept on it. I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again.
you can feel in the podcast where my heart has been broken.
That's how it feels, motherfucker. So many times of you listening to you guys go, nothing's happening during Steel Dawn. Oh, who cares if there's a couple of cool fights, but the rest of the movie, oh
Had
my
some
God,
of
I
the worst
wanted to
choreographed
sleep.
fights we've ever covered on the show.
But yet let's make those fights against trolls. Who cares if we fell asleep for an hour and 20 minutes in this movie? The trolls made it worth it.
That's what trolls do. Why I haven't watched those little kid movies.
I'm now okay with my score now. I've convinced myself 4.5. That's
4.5. All right. Nate, lay it on me, brother.
All right. I originally was at a 7. But as I was watching the movie, I was like, this feels like straight up 7. It's an 8 for me because of how much clever use there is with the storytelling for the independent filmmaker.
There's no way
it
went
just
up.
kept going up because I saw the charm of what they were able to do with their limited budget and just like talking about this is clearly where
incapable of going
woods
up.
were just taking and they were falling down. They went, we'll just say trolls went through here in this rock formation. We'll just say trolls.
Yeah, let's not put any effort whatsoever. Let's just say fuck it and fake it all.
Really cool independent filmmaking tricks that I adore, and I love trolls. So yeah, it's an 8. Suck it, Charlie. That's what we used to do in the 90s. We used to always stand up and be like, "Suck it," and we'd keep doing that thing.
In the 90s, our trolls actually did something. They turned kids into wood. They fought Ernest. Those are trolls, damn it.
Those are creepy trolls. Man, we've had 2 troll movies this year. That doesn't feel right. What about you, Pete?
Oh, Lord. Clearly, this movie has divided this podcast. It's not without its flaws.
This is what you do, Pete. You always make everyone fight.
I do. It's my thing. It's 7.5 for me. This is a recommend.
Yeah, I'd recommend this to people. Unlike this mean guy.
It's a strong recommend. It's a recommend. If you do like found footage films, this is definitely for you. If you hate found footage films, this is not for you.
Yep, obviously that's fair.
But if you like independent films and you like clever camera work, this.
I like that stuff. It's just.
Do
you have to do it more than for 15 minutes in the movie. I don't need to see you eating breakfast. I don't need to see you walking. I don't need to see you driving.
So much of that because of the trolly goodness that we get.
Barely.
Oh, I mean,
barely.
It had way more trolls than I ever thought it would. I really thought we were going to get like 2.
Thankfully, we did not. All right,
no.
Let's get a review that Charlie can relate to.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I smash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's going to be a disaster.
If I had time, I'd have wrote one just to sneak in.
Well, joke's on you because I picked one from 2012 where this guy gave it 1 out of 10. This is Simon Miller _13 who called this a pile of trolls feces. And yes, that's the only reason why I picked this review is because it said troll feces. Oh my God, this is more than awful. I think every member of the crew and their families have left reviews on this site. That can be the only explanation for why this rubbish has been so highly rated. I liked Cloverfield and all the paranormal activities, so it's not the way it was filmed. The dialogue sounds like they're making it up as they go, badly. Either that, or it doesn't translate well. The voice actors used for dubbing into English are pretty damn bad also, and I'm guessing they couldn't get work anywhere else. Anywhere. So in short, lame story, bad camera work, amateur acting, and rubbish effects. I recommend sticking pins in your eyes or watching paint dry instead.
Wow.
Are you telling me there's an English dub
version? There might have been at one point.
I would have watched that because then I could have looked at my phone and known what was going on.
I disagree.
Literally,
The story is lame. It's really cool. And I think the effects were cool. And like I said, if you talk a different language, then I automatically assume that you're an Oscar-winning actor because I don't know if it's good or bad acting.
Good God.
Now, I am highly down for bad dubbing. Like, I still want to dub kung fu movies for a living.
I mean, yeah, if you're doing it on purpose, I think that's
you
fine,
think
but
your Shaolin Tiger style could stop me? See, that'd be my.
you just there is a razor thin line you can walk as a white American dude dubbing kung fu
That's
movies.
all they have dubbing. Have you not heard? They're clearly. I am going to hit you with a roundhouse kick now. That's the way they sound in all. Those
I
kung
get
fu
yelled
movies.
at quite a bit on here when I try to dub
do.
something.
I'm more like the Wayne's World 2 type of dubbing.
Even that's questionable if you really want to break it down a little bit.
All right, Kung Pao.
Kung Pao's a little bit more acceptable because he's just talking.
All right.
He's dubbing his own
Himself. Yeah.
self.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing
And
added,
Well, he also did dub Betty.
which is fine because it's Betty. You can't make that worse. It's already.
Are we allowed to cover that? I feel like we're allowed to cover that. It's
I'm
an
okay
action
with.
movie.
We can cover Kung Pao only after we cover Kung Fu Hustle because I refuse to do that one before Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle is
Okay?
so good.
Kung Pao came first, and then Kung Fu
I don't
Hustle.
care. Kung
All
Fu
right, well,
Hustle
then
is far
also
superior.
We'll do
Far
Shaolin
superior.
Soccer as well.
We can do that. Or
Shaolin Soccer is a really fun time.
I want to cover the quick 30-minute. What's that video? Damn it! What's the name of that? It has lasers and
with
dinosaurs.
David
and
Hasselhoff.
Kung Fury.
Yeah,
Kung Fury. We have to cover that one too.
yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Maybe
I'm
we
not
just
against that at all.
We just have a Kung Fu
Got
month
David
again.
Hasselhoff in it.
Right, you
How
know
can
what
you
though?
not
We're still a
cover it?
bunch of action posers. We haven't done one Jackie Chan movie. This podcast is almost 3 years old.
That's been requested almost a year ago. We haven't done a Jackie
Yeah.
Chan
Talked about
movie.
it.
We are posers. We suck. Well, the fact that we haven't done Police Story 1,
Police
Rumble in
Story.
the Bronx,
Yeah.
Operation Condor.
Yeah.
We suck.
mean, we haven't
Drunken
even-
Master.
We haven't even done
Master
a
Please.
Rush Hour movie. I mean, come on.
No, our first Jackie Chan movie, I refuse to let that be Rush
It
Hour.
has to be Rush Hour.
No, I flat out refuse.
The Medallion.
No, Chris
I think it's
Tucker
good
can
guy.
just,
Yeah.
if he's
I'm
not in
a
Fifth
fan of
Element,
Chris Tucker.
he too, like in the 90s, he could suck it. And I start thrusting my hands
No,
in my
we're not-
groin
we're-
area.
We are not bad mouthing Chris Tucker right now, are we?
And man, if it ain't Friday, it ain't Fifth Element. I
All right,
want nothing to do with the guy.
Let's tell people how to get a hold of us.
Yeah,
I'd like to get a
he's
hold
the
of-
one trying to like not
I'd
make
like
us
to
do a
get a
good
hold of-
Jackie Chan movie.
I'd like
Talk
to get a
about
hold of
padding
Nate
an
right
episode.
now. This isn't. No, it was a natural progression of the conversation.
Yeah. I
There's
just
no
want us to
padding
cover
here.
a Jackie Chan movie. God damn it!
If I was going to pad it, I would just have dead silence like this movie had for a
Well,
while.
no, we would
before
eat breakfast
anything
right about
happened.
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like a good idea. I'm all
I
for
would
that.
try to interview Pete as he walked away from me. I would, inexplicably
There'd be some
befriended.
lingering shots.
Yeah, like, oh look, my car turned sideways and is chewed up by a troll, which actually was kind of cool. I did like the car.
Yeah.
Someone got to have fun tearing the shit out of that poor little
Yeah.
green car
That's where the
and
budget
covering
went.
it in slime. Yeah, there you go. There was at least $20,000 on a
In
$500 car. That car was given to them by a family member, and they still spent too much money on it. Yeah. So as Pete politely nudged us as he drives this episode, if you want to continue this conversation and follow along, you can check us out over on Facebook at Give Me Back My Horror Movies, the Facebook group. Give Me Back My Action Movies, the Facebook group. Both are on Instagram. We are on X, Threads, TikTok, YouTube. So yeah, this is our last episode of the year, boys. This is
Woo!
the
We did
we're
it.
done with
We
2023.
did it. What a way to
Happy
end
New Year.
2023. Now, fellas, I have something very special for us to welcome in the new year.
Yeah, Nate, we've been teasing this a little bit.
Been
Nate, you
teasing it
gotta-
for a little bit, and now I'm going to reveal the title that's going to launch 2024
All
for
right.
this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
T2 Judgment Day.
Ooh.
There's
We are
there's a way to start
finally
the new year.
doing Terminator 2, and it is a blockbuster, and it's a 10 for me already, but we're going to just, instantly gloat and just praise Terminator 2 and all of its hellfire glory. And I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I just want to real quick point out, it's not a Jackie Chan movie though.
It's not.
Yeah, I realize that I also am at fault for not picking Jackie Chan movies. When I
Yeah,
have the
you're
opportunity
really
to
fully
pick
at fault.
movies,
You guys
even
had a
down when it
month
comes to my
of Kung
birthday.
Fu.
But
Like,
One of them went to
I
Kung Fu, we
still,
didn't do it.
Yeah,
I'm
month of
just
Kung Fu,
saying.
not one Jackie Chan movie.
We haven't done Hard Boiled.
You jumped right to the Raid.
We haven't done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that we haven't done.
Oh,
2024. It's going to start with Terminator 2. Then Pete and I are going to have a lot more Kung Fu movies in here. Yeah.
It also starts the countdown.
Ooh, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
No,
going to be
no,
January, and we kind of have to, because the doomsday clock is getting closer and
It's getting
closer.
closer and closer.
It's
to
almost
February.
midnight. It's almost midnight.
That's why we're doing Terminator 2, and then we're going to do Charlie's birthday picks, and then, well, I guess
Don't
we
worry,
could probably sneak in a Kung Fu movie there because there's 4 movie selections in January.
There's something special at the end of January.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
well, I guess I don't remember.
Well, that worries me because it's our 3-year anniversary, gentlemen. 3 years
weird.
of this
3 years.
podcast.
3 years of no Jackie Chan movies.
3 years, no Jackie Chan movies.
That's what that is.
Just a hair under 3 years to get Terminator 2 on the show.
That feels right. All right. If we would have done that in the first year, we would have sucked. If we would have done it in the second year, we would have sucked just a little less.
You can't blow your movie load right away. You gotta spread it out.
You're not wrong. There are some that I wish we'd have held on to.
3 years and we still haven't done a Rambo movie.
That is on the docket for 2024. Yeah. That
just saying, like maybe
that's
the
okay.
third year is when we finally like grow a big pair of balls and start actually
Big
covering
balls.
some action movies once in a while around this place.
The hell are you talking about? We did Expendables 2 this year. We did Lethal Weapon 2 this year.
Yeah,
we did.
We've done some big ones, man. We've done some big ones. We had Demolition Man, my man.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we're really blowing through our Stallone load this year.
It's Cliffhanger, Stallone. Not to tip the hat, one of the birthday picks for me is the Stallone movie.
Yeah, really.
Shocker.
Going through.
All we can hope is maybe one of Pete's is a Stallone movie. God, we could only hope.
Throw Mama from the train. Oh no! Stop her, my mom will shoot. That's what
Pete never can remember which. I will take that if you make that one of your February movies. I am totally in.
I'll be so happy with that.
That will be the highlight of February if we do Don't Stop Her, My Mom Will Shoot.
You're gonna love it.
I don't think
actually,
I
you're gonna
will.
hate it. I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna hate it like I hated Troll Hunter. No, God, I'm ending the year on a down note. I don't like that. Damn it. Oh,
It was a hot run. That's on you.
Yeah,
have we
I had a
patted?
good
Have
time.
Have we
was happy.
patted this episode?
I don't know what you're saying.
enough
Patted.
now?
I'm just having a normal conversation.
Oh, that's what happens when Charlie doesn't have a whole lot to say about a movie. All right, boys. All right, end of the year. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Here's
It was
our
the
next
best
year.
of times. It was the worst of times.
There was some pretty bad times. We haven't even hit Turkey Day yet, but it's okay. We hope everybody's enjoying it. Only 2 more pre-recorded episodes to come from us starting out the first of the year, but we're taking a little bit of break in between before we do those, so they'll sound a little fresher. But we still have all of our holiday cheer and revelry to do. So we hope everyone had good Thanksgivings and good Christmases. We want to appreciate everyone for checking us out, sticking out with us for 3 years now. It seems like the numbers are growing. We appreciate it. Share us out there, rate us, check out all of our other
thank
friends.
you. Like, it's kind of crazy to see
Amazing.
where we started out the year and where we have ended the year. And it's not like there's been like rough parts for us within in the middle parts or anything like that, but it really is just like humbling and just like, holy shit, thank you so much, because wow is the only word for it, man.
That's been said quite a few times when we see our numbers each month. So
it's very humbling. I never have the words for it, and shocking, weird.
Weird.
Good job, Nate.
That's
job.
How this is why you don't let me do the things. Articulating words is not quite my strong suit.
And because we're pre-recording and stuff, I know that we are scheduled to be on some other shows, barring any kind of, something happened, we didn't do it. Please, you'll go check out our socials and you'll see all of the other shows that we special guested on, even though we're not recording our episodes every week. So still plenty of fresh content coming out from us and all of our friends in the podcast networks and our community that we've built. So it's awesome. I will quit dragging this out. Everybody, please have a happy new year, a safe new year. Please don't drink and drive.
Uber and Lyft. Come on, guys. It exists.
Uber, Lyft, walk. Maybe Santa will come by in his sleigh and take you off with some reindeer.
He'll give you a gizmo to play with.
That's right, man. So, and we done, boys?
We're done. Happy New Year's. Well,
I think that's what we outro on. I say Happy New Year to everyone out there. Pete, say the word.
Happy New Year.
There we go. All right. See you guys next year.
Now, let's talk about how I get back home.